looks pretty good tonight. We had pretty good rain today, just a little bit ago. Looks like weeds are coming up in the onions good, and in the potatoes. Steve healed up the potatoes last night and put some fertilizer on them. We've got another row of onions down there. Everything's looking really good. It was starting to get a little bit dry here. As much as it's rained lately, it still was drying out pretty good, so it needed a little drink. Here's our tomatoes over here, and the peppers over here in the other garden. Tomatoes are looking really good. Peppers are kind of moving kind of slow. We put a new kind of bean out in between those two last ground covers, in between the peppers and the squash, and some of them didn't come up, so we're going to have to re-sow something there. On up there, all of those beans are contender green beans. Tomatoes are up here. They're all looking really good. There's a lot of blooms on. Won't be long, we'll have to get the cages on them before they get too much bigger. Okay, I'm out here at the raised bed now. Swiss chard's coming up here in the pallet. This is where we had some of our lettuce this spring. We just pulled all the roots up from that and decided to plant Swiss chard, rainbow chard in here. There's actually some volunteer tomato plants coming up in here. We'll just let them be and see what they put off. Look at this little guy. This is one of the, I think it's Tiny Tim. They're flower pot tomatoes. Look at the little tomatoes on that little tiny plant. Here's another one. So tiny, but it's plumb full of tomatoes and blooms. There's another volunteer tomato. And then these are some of the flower pot tomatoes that have gotten a little bit bigger. They were a little bit bigger when we put them out. This bed here has beets sown in it. That right there is garlic chives. This is garlic chives. I'm not sure what is beets and what's not. I almost think these are beets, but I'm not completely sure. That's clover, so that's not a beet. I'm hoping that's all beets. They'll probably have to be thinned down some. And we stuck some extra cabbage plants in here. And another flower pot tomato. We had a lot of those. And an update on the carrots in the water trough. They're actually looking pretty good. They're not very thick on this one end. And they're too thick up there. But you never know till you try something. We'll thin them out here before too long. And here's the strawberry bed. It's become a nightly thing for all three of the boys to have a little strawberry snack before they go in for the night. They haven't had their snack yet tonight. These beds in this mineral tub is sweet potato plants. And this is my herb bed. I can't believe my dill has already gone to seed. I haven't even used it for anything yet. Looks like I'm going to have to take some of it off to slow it down maybe. And these cucumbers are looking awesome. And there is little ones on. Cucumbers, once they start putting off, they grow really fast. You come out one day and have a little teeny tiny cucumber on, and you come back a couple days later and it's almost too big. And we've got a tomato in this one, some tomatoes over there. We've still got a lot of cleaning up to do out here. Just stuff that we used, the cover that we used for over the doorway to add some extra protection when it got cold. We've got a lot to do out here yet. I'm really happy with the garlic bed this time. It's looking really, really good. We won't harvest this till probably July. After it's starting to turn yellow, so it may not be too awful long. I think this is the biggest crop that I've had so far. But I usually end up having enough to do me all through the year and then have some extra left for seed for the next year. And these two little lonesome cucumbers over here, we stuck in tubs. This one here, I broke it completely in half right before I planted it. It had cucumbers on it, it had blooms on it, and we figured it would die, but I went ahead and stuck it in anyway and staked it up, and it's coming back. But they're doing really good. They've got some little cucumbers on them. This is some new rhubarb we've put out this year. Here. And here's the herb bed. That is some cilantro over there. It's getting really big. It needs cut down. And basil. This is celery right here. I grew this from seed. There's some thyme. There's 3 kinds of thyme. There's oregano. And here's rosemary. And then up here, this bed is still kind of, we're not quite finished with it. There's some peppers in it. Some extra tomato plants that we just had in the greenhouse. Up here, this has still got to have some wood shavings put on it too. Up here, to grow up on the cattle panel, is greasy beans that we purchased from Flutie Lick Homestead. And looks like they had a really good germination rate. I think we're going to, in the center, I think we're going to sow another row and then maybe run some strings from the top down to the ground so the plants can vine up them. This is the yellow stripey tomato that we bought at Rural King way back earlier in the spring. It's been in the greenhouse in a tub for quite some time, and it's got a tomato on it. It may have more than one. That's the only one I've spotted so far. And then over here we've got 3 more tubs with sweet potatoes. This is my wheelbarrow full of flowers. Everything's looking really good so far. So hoping this rain will give everything a good jump start and it'll take off. Everything's behind this year. We're behind on the growing season. We're behind getting garden out. We still need to plant more green beans. We've got a little bit more sweet corn to put out. We got a few more cabbage plants and tomato plants we could put out. I mean, this time last year we already had cabbage to eat. We had peas, we had new potatoes, and we had cucumbers. So we're really behind this time. But still might be the best garden year ever. You just never know. That's all we have for tonight. Thanks for visiting and going on our garden tour with us. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Share our videos with your friends and come back and see us. Have a great night and God bless.